Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kingdom of England. Currently, we are waiting for our 2 missions to expire, and then we can attack Genoa as well as France. Yet again, we can take Paris. We'll leave, I think, Rome to the French if the Imperial Army, this Imperial Army, led by Captain Conrad, allows. We'll leave the French with Rome, and then we can take Paris, and then we can vassalize them. I think we want Paris itself because it is a very large city. Well, we can't see the income, but it is a very large city, and I would assume that it has a huge income. So we'll leave France with Rome, as I said, vassalize them, and I think we'll try to take all of Genoa's Western and Central European holdings here, Clermont, Lyon, Dijon, and I think this is Bern. We'll take these 4, and then we can reassess the situation once we start getting into Italy. I don't know if I want to march all the way down into Italy, as well as Corsica and Sardinia, as, you know, definitely not Northern Africa. That would be a pain in the butt. I mean, we can. It's not a huge deal, but I think we should focus more on perhaps the Germans, Norway, Denmark, before we head all the way down to Northern Africa. I don't know, it's just how I am feeling right now. Anyway, we've got David of Salisbury here with quite a nice army, as well as Simon Russell outside of Old Paris itself with quite a nice army, except for this 1 unit is slightly undermanned, but that is not a problem. We've got good old Barty Carr sitting in Marseille, and he is currently retraining units. No, he's not doing a single damn thing, except for recruiting a priest, I suppose. We're sending this trebuchet all the way to Toulouse, and I assume some of these units back to Toulouse as well for King Herbert's army. Oh my, we have to shuffle some units around here. King Herbert's army is a little worse for wear. If you remember, he was attacked in the field, and now we have to replace those losses. So I'm just removing the weakened units piecemeal, and I can grab some archers and various units, and I'll rebuild that army, and I'll see you once I am done that. Alright, so I have rebuilt King Herbert's army as best I can. We're still short quite a few units, so we're going to have to recruit a few more in Toulouse. I've got a catapult and a mangonel that I'm going to throw in there, but I think down the line what I may do, for example with Barty Carr's, I'll have Barty Carr's main army. He'll have a lot of infantry, cavalry, etc., but I will also have a small sub-army with a lot of siege equipment, trebuchets and whatnot. So what that means is when I get to a large city like Lyon, if need be, I can move that siege equipment into Barty Carr's army. So, you know, we get a nice big infantry force with some reserves as well, but also a lot of siege equipment, because, you know, it gets a bit cramped when you try to cram 2 or 3 siege engines in an army, and also the siege engines slow down your armies quite a bit. So that may be a valid strategy that I may use. I don't want to make promises, any concrete promises right now, but you know what, it may work out. But anyway, looking at our notifications, last turn, Stephen Morton, who I think was our priest in Toulouse, he was executed for heresy by this man here. And you know what? It's not pretty. But all these people are enjoying the spectacle quite a bit, I would say.
Is charged with rooting out heresy wherever it dwells. Such holy work is not for the faint-hearted, for it seems only after sufficient persuasion is applied do the guilty confess their sins.
So he has been burned at the stake, and it's not pretty. He's screaming. My God. But that's what you get for being a heretic, I would say. Good old Inquisitor, what's his name? Honorius Petrie. What a name, Honorius. Even Honorius, perhaps. It's got the name... It's got honor built right in, and Jesus Christ. With a name like that, you're basically destined to be an Inquisitor or a law enforcement individual of some kind. So, France of Richmond is now the Duke d'Aquitaine, which means that he is the Lord of Bordeaux, because as someone, a faithful viewer has pointed out, you can actually recruit generals' bodyguards in castles. So we have recruited France of Richmond here, and he is now the Duke of Bordeaux. Aquitaine in general. And you know what? He appears not to be too bad, except for he's quite naive. But he apparently is a tested and true soldier. So he can hold down the fort whilst we kick some ass in the field. And look at this, we're going to retrain his unit right from the get-go. Apparently he showed up to the battle, and you know what? He's not even... showed up to the war, rather, and he's not even well-equipped. Okay, we have built a school in York. And you know what? York needs some trade buildings, I would say. Or even a tavern, perhaps. Winchester now has a bakehouse, aiding in population. Now, we really need a grain exchange. Winchester itself is just a shitty place to be right now. It does not have an inn or even a grain exchange, so we'll build a grain exchange, then an inn, perhaps. Angers now has a siege work. And we can retrain all of these units. I would like to move away from these peasant garrison units as much as possible and perhaps get some light men-at-arms and whatnot. You know, might as well have some good units if they get free upkeep. If you know what I mean. I believe all these units get free upkeep in big castles like Angers, but I can't say for certain. I know the feudal knights do because they are knights, as well as the menés, petites, they get free upkeep. But anyway, in Edinburgh, we're kind of running out of things to build in Edinburgh, but I'm sure they would not mind to have some council chambers. I hope. Visby, oh, good old Visby, constantly under the neutral threat of attack from Norway and Denmark. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just swirling around like sharks and dropping off parasites of armies into my territory. I'm not sure what the fuck they're playing at, but you know what? It is making me nervous. But we get some good knights. What the hell? Good units in Visby. So I'm going to build the stables so we get those scouts. For those regional units, I don't see why not. So, I recruited a general's bodyguard in Nottingham as well, and I would say it's this guy, Andrew Gushil. Gushil, perhaps? Who is an administrator. Right, well, I guess we need to find somewhere for that fucking guy. Exeter would be a good option at this point. I believe that York and Edinburgh are already occupied by the Vaughns, or Robin of Shrewsbury, I believe was his name, but he's now the chivalrous. But we have Lawrence Vaughan in York, and of course Owen Vaughan in Nottingham. So we'll bring Andrew Gushil. You know, he could probably help out in Winchester as well for the population. Perhaps, I'm not certain, but really I'm gonna send him to Exeter, because it is the largest city right now that does not have a governor, I would assume. Dublin as well doesn't have one, but it is smaller than Exeter, of course, so we're not going to worry about it. But how many times can you recruit a general's bodyguard? Not very often, apparently. It's 20 turns per general, but we could probably recruit one. No, we cannot. We cannot recruit one in Carnarvon, but I would assume in Angers or Caen we can. Angers for sure, we'll get one, and Caen, hopefully, no. Okay, well, that is our limit for generals. Oh, Toulouse, perhaps? Toulouse, 8 turns for Toulouse. Okay, well, that's good news. We now have a ton of lords just coming up from all over. But, of course, when you recruit lords, they do not go in the family tree, which is not a big deal, but it definitely... It helps to legitimize the royalty, I believe. You know, you're not having to adopt every single person that comes by just so you have generals. I completely forgotten that you could recruit generals. But anyway, we've got a Genoese cardinal being promoted yet again. And I'm really not surprised. Okay, we are losing favor with the Fatimids very quickly, and I would assume it is because we are converting these Muslims to Catholicism in Acre. Right now, we're only sitting at 45% Catholicism, which is not a huge amount, but we could probably take Acre any day now. Unfortunately, we are currently running out of money. We're only earning about 5,000 per turn. So we're going to have to put an end to these wars quite quickly, and hopefully we can get rid of some of these superfluous units like these archers. We're not using them right now. I'm going to leave 2 in Bordeaux just for shits and gigs, I guess. You know what? We could probably destroy all these units. And when I say all of them, I just mean everything but the garrison. The free upkeep units. We can probably disband them all once we take Paris as well as Clermont. And then we'll just have a skeleton crew manning the oars at Caen as well as Angers. We're going to need at least an army in Nottingham as well. I'm slowly but surely building up an army in Nottingham so that someday we'll be ready to march north and vassalize Scotland. I think when we begin that war, we'll take Bruges for ourselves as well. Get this nice border right here. And then we'll leave Scotland with these 2 cities. I think when you vassalize factions in Medieval 2, it still counts towards your, here you go, your overall mission. So we have to hold London, Nottingham, all these fucking places, Dublin, Edinburgh. See, we have to hold Edinburgh, which we already do. But we do have to eliminate the Kingdom of Scotland and the Kingdom of France. But I'm not sure if we vassalize them, does that count as elimination? If you know, let me know. Leave a comment below. I would assume that vassalizing them would be more than enough to complete that mission. I mean, we don't even have to complete those objectives to technically win the game. I mean, we're just going to play until we're bored. But anyway, I suppose we can end the turn. Look at this. We are getting close to 100 turns. 100 years of Medieval 2. Geez. Anyway, we're going to end the turn. So it appears that the Germans have taken Ham, and that basically leaves France with Paris. So once we take Paris, that's going to be it. They're going to be done. I would think the French king was killed in Ham, but I can't say for sure. All right, Owen Vaughan has been presented with a bride, Emoni Lumley, and I don't see why we can't marry them. Here we go. Married. Speaking of marriages, in Edinburgh, it appears that Robin the Chivalrous is perpetually being propositioned by Susan here. She's just constantly thrusting her hand into the city. As well as in Caen here, we've got Cristina the Gorgon, which
Do you have an eligible son,
is a very odd name. If she was extremely ugly, I can assume that name would be relevant, but look at this. She's actually quite charming. Swoon. But anyway, she too was thrusting her fist into the heart of Caen. I'm not sure who exactly of these 800 men she's trying to marry, but I'm not sure. Every single turn they're doing this. Cristina the Gorgon, tell me your secrets. But anyway, look at this. Also, the Holy Romans have declared war on the Kingdom of Portugal, and we're at a really awkward time where, you know, this happened last time when the Holy Romans declared war on the Genoese. I couldn't figure out who to side with. So I'm actually going to leave that for later. I'm going to save quickly before I fuck with that. But until then, we'll have to look at this. See, look at this. We're only gaining like a 2,000 or 3,000 gold pieces per turn. Duke Bartholomew has fine armor. What the hell? Odo Dunbar is a commercial conqueror. I'm quite impressed by Duke Barty Carr. Oh, he's Duke Bartholomew now? Is that how it's gonna be? Okay, well,
Honor, sire.
Duke Bartholomew shall be forever known as Barty Carr to me, but here we go. Here's his fine armor. I suppose you can only find such fine armor in the city of Marseille. I'm not sure why that he's picked that up only now, but anyway, Carnarvon has a practice range, and we're basically just going to build all this shit for Carnarvon. Carnarvon is a bit of a backwater right now. I mean, we're not using it for a whole lot. More support province than anything. Same with Galway, rather. We now have a priest in Marseille. And you know what? I think I recruited some priests in Exeter.
Yes.
For example, Ralph of Tisbury. I would assume it's actually Leonard of Somerset. There we go. He is the first graduate of the Theologians Guild. He's only an apprentice, though, which is quite unfortunate. But I believe he is going to be the Bishop of Nottingham. So here we go. We're going to grab Leonard of Somerset. There we go. He's heading towards Nottingham. Wow. Andrew Goosehill is heading towards Exeter. Perfect. Oops. We are very in good standing with the Pope for some reason. Okay, so the Danes have once again declared war with the Holy Romans. James, what's his name? Dadelberg has yet to see any action on the northern front here, though. Not a Dane to be seen. However, where is he? I had a diplomat. Here we go. Nope. Way up here. There we go. Edmund of Lincoln. I don't know what the hell Edmund of Lincoln. He appears to have strolled upon some sort of pagan ritual out here in the forest. We've got 3 pagan priests just kind of chillaxing. I don't know. If I was Edmund of Lincoln, I would get the fuck out of there. They're gonna try to cannibalize him or something to that of that description. So there we go. Edmund of Lincoln has GTFO'd from the 9 circles of hell in the forest of Wallachia. And there we go. He is now out of there. Admiral Alfred is going to return to Visby. He's only got 1 ship, and you know what? I could probably recruit another cog for that fleet in Visby and fill it full of fucking Viking raiders and just raid the shit out of the countryside. Okay, we do have a bishop in Visby, and if I remember correctly, Visby is actually, here we go, is actually Catholic. Full-on 100% Catholic. Nice. I'd forgotten. Okay, I'm going to see how successfully I can manage this thing here, and once I'm done that, we'll be right back. Alright, I have sided with my good friends Portugal in this war here, because you know what, I don't think Portugal is ever actually going to attack the Holy Romans. There's going to be no conflict here to speak of, but this sets us up nicely to take on the Germans once we take care of Genoa as well as France. Speaking of France, I'm going to move Simon Russell towards Paris. He's going to block off access to Paris, and next turn when our missions expire, we'll be able to assault the place. No fucking problem. The Germans right now don't really seem to have a strong enough force to march on Paris, so I'm hoping that they will not besiege the place within the next turn. But anyway, I'm going to also pull David of Salisbury north. Here we go. King Herbert is still forming his army in Toulouse. Hopefully, we'll have enough units for that within the next few turns. We're really only lacking in infantry at this moment. A few more sword and board units, as well as some spearmen. Actually, I am missing knights as well. I need one more horse, one more cavalry unit. Jesus, I cannot speak at this very moment. I could always recruit some Knights Templar, but I'm not so sure about that. Maybe when we get a crusade, I can recruit some Knights Templar and send them away. It feels kind of odd to recruit the Holy Order units. Oh my god, look at this population. What is going on? So much squalor. Too much squalor for this small castle. I'm going to actually build some farms and maybe some ballista towers eventually. But anyway, what was I saying? Holy Orders. Yeah, it feels weird to have Knights Templar just storming around fucking Europe. They should really be in the Middle East. But anyway, Barty Carr shall soon march north towards Lyon. I don't see why he can't just leave the city now. Actually, we'll leave behind a single archer unit. There we go. There we go. Even better. Our infantry is slightly damaged, but I don't see Lyon being putting up too much of a fight, so we can just march north. We'll ooh. Apparently, Genoa has access to Sudanese javelinmen. I don't know how they manage that, but look at that. We'll release those troops. There we go. They retreated back to Lyon. Oh, shit. Did I just get excommunicated? No? Was that not enough to piss off the Pope? No, apparently. He feels no ill will against the Kingdom of England. Let's see. Who can we Oh shit, we can call a crusade on Frankfurt in Vienna. I forgot, the Holy Romans are actually excommunicated at this point. So we could probably call a crusade upon Frankfurt or even Vienna and really piss them off. And you know what, that would probably weaken them quite a bit. Maybe within the next few turns or videos we could mess with that. But anyway, skirting on the edge of excommunication here, we're going to head towards Lyon. I'm not sure why we wouldn't get excommunicated for that. Perhaps because it was a small clash. You know, it was only a captain, maybe. I don't know. We also got some sort of ritual happening on the border between Aquitaine and Auvergne here. We've got a bishop, a cardinal, 2 cardinals, and a bishop. Wow. I'm not sure what the hell they're doing out here, but it's very suspicious. I really hope we don't get inquisited again. That would definitely suck, especially if it were to be King Herbert who got inquisited. Alright, let's see. We've got 1 Norman sergeant unit. We now have 3 in the army. We just need 1 more, such as that one. Okay, we also have some Malays Petites. So we have quite a lot of troops, actually. We just need 1 more Malays unit. Here we go. Merge those units. Try to retrain that 1 eventually. Perhaps 7 turns from now we will be able to do that. Alright, let's see. Let us reorganize this army, and then we can move on with our turns, and get to war making with the good old French and Genoese. There we go. King Herbert's army is quite strong, and he will probably, I'm not sure, we'll send him towards Dijon perhaps. I'm not sure what to do with King Herbert at this moment. He can be a backup army, I suppose. We really don't want to lose our king out in the field due to, you know, assassinations, anything really. Marseille is just losing their shit due to the tax rate, so I'm going to have to put it very low. There we go. I am slightly becoming concerned about our financial situation. We are losing quite a few doubloons per turn, and by losing I mean we're not gaining as much as we once did, but I think I'll get France Richmond to march south here, and you know what, we can probably, oh, can't build a fort or watchtower here. What? No, I was gonna build a fort along this road here, but apparently it is actually impossible. I'm not sure what that's about. We can build a fort, apparently we cannot get close to Piera di Oria here. She will not stand for us to build a fort on this road here in Aquitaine. I was going to build that fort there just so we can put a small garrison force just to safeguard against Aragonese arrogance, if you will. They've been using some armies and kind of faffing about along our border, which is making me a little nervous. But apparently that is going to be impossible. I could build one roundabouts here, but it's not good enough because they can just go around, you know? It's got to be right on the fucking border. Oh, maybe next turn, within the next few turns, we'll revisit that. Maybe it actually has to do with Piera di Oria. I cannot tell you. But anyway, let's move on. Well, hey, our missions. We have mission success to cease hostilities with both France and the Republic of Genoa, which means that we can now put the boot down. We can fucking put an end to this war. Right the fuck now. The only thing is, Eldelmo de Chiesa is marching towards Marseille now, and unfortunately, hey, what is this? Do we have a sweet blacksmith? We have a fucking armor in Marseille. You know what? I'm not sure if I built that or if that was from the Genoese, but you know what? There we go. We now have some extremely armored spear militia. Perhaps that's why Bardicar got that sweet armor, just because we have the highest tier blacksmith in Marseille. I'm not sure. But anyway, Eldelmo de Chiesa is marching towards Marseille, and I'm going to pull back Bardicar to garrison it one, and I'll put King Herbert on the front lines. We've got Ericino Volpato here, and his good friend Vico di Vittorio. If you remember, we've seen Vico around quite a bit. And also Captain Agostino, and they are blocking the way to Lyon. So we're going to have to batter our way through them before we can actually besiege the town itself. I'm going to replace David of Salisbury's catapult with a trebuchet. There we go. And I'm actually going to disband this catapult. There we are. David of Salisbury is now ready to march on Clermont. And you know what? I got to take a quick look here. We got to find Maria the Snob. There she is. Maria the Snob is an illegitimate daughter. Wow. I did not realize. The illegitimate daughter of King Joffrey the Chivalrous, which makes her a princess, like full-on princess, not like any of these other hoe-bags over here. And you know what? She is now betrothed to, what's his nuts? Aubrey Seymour. And you know what? I don't see why we can't marry this guy to Maria the Snob. With a name like Maria the Snob, I'm sure we could marry this guy to her and watch this nice, long, boring video. But first of all, we gotta find somewhere for Aubrey Seymour to go. Seymour, a new name in our family. We've got a lot of Russells coming along. Not a legitimate Englishman. I mean, he was adopted just like King Herbert, I believe. Oh my god, he has a few weird traits. For example, poor logistician, harsh ruler. That's, and also unhealthy. That's not great. But anyway, I don't think we have any actual Englishmen in our royal family at the moment. Here we go. We've got Lawrence Vaughan and Owen Vaughan. Those are the only... Oh, well. Descendant of William the Conqueror. He's not actually a descendant of our family line. If you know what I mean. I'm having a oh, shit. David of Salisbury is slowly dying due to his old age. Oh my god. Louis the Honorable is 84 years old. Oh my god. I'm just, anyway, what I was going to say, I'm disappointed in our family tree. We don't have a long-standing name or bloodline or anything like that. Due to all the adoptions and marriages that have occurred, it appears that Russell is now going to be the ruling dynasty, though. Barty Carr, I don't believe he is actually King Herbert's son. He's only adopted. But Shrewsbury... Oh, Vaughan is also a good name in our kingdom at the moment. But that's about it. We got Vaughan and Russell. But we don't have, you know, the names of the kings of old. Bit worrying. But anyway, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Eustace Vaughan. Wow, I didn't even notice. But we got another Vaughan on the way named Eustace. Here he is. The first Vaughan son, it appears, born to Owen Vaughan, and in the good style of our old friend Eustace. I'm not sure where Eustace is on this family tree anymore. I've lost him, but they've taken that name and they've given it to their son. I'm curious, where is Eustace actually? Oh, there he is. Eustace of Gainsborough, and also his shit brother, Reynold, who died tragically in 1145. It really wasn't so tragic, actually. It was more of a godsend than anything. I kind of wished it upon a star that he would die somewhere out in the sands of Egypt, and there you go. It happened. But anyway, we got a bunch of shit being built in London, and a pastry shop is the next in line after a city hall, and now we're set dressing for Sweeney Todd over here. Give it a couple hundred years, and Johnny Depp is going to be stepping up to the plate, and we'll be producing a good musical. Okay, we got another general in Angers, Jasper Maltravers, which is quite a name, Maltravers. I don't know. This guy sounds like a fucking wizard, just a little bit. I think we have... hold on here. Militarily minded. Okay, you know what? I think we have all of our castles over here. They all have a lord, I believe. I couldn't tell you who owns what, but... so, Barty Carr is the Lord of Angers. King Herbert, the Lord of Rennes. Toulouse, I believe, doesn't have a lord at the moment. David of Salisbury is actually the Lord of Nottingham, surprisingly. But Caen does not have a lord, I don't think. Oh, yes, it does. It's Simon Russell. Okay, so you know what? We're going to send Jasper down to Toulouse. And that's really our only castle in Central Europe here that doesn't have a lord at the moment. So, there we go. Holy shit, you know what? I just dissolved my alliance with the Holy Romans because the Portuguese declared, or were declared upon by the Holy Romans. But you know what? Hostilities have been ceased 6 months later, so that was a bit of a wasted time. Perhaps the Holy Romans just wanted to dissolve my alliance with them. Perhaps. But do it in a very sneaky way. I'm not sure if the AI would be smart enough to do that. Okay, you know what? We can't build a fort in any of these good places. But right here is the only place we can. So there we go. We've built a fort. And we'll have to move a few units over there. I'll recruit some... No, there's no... Oh. Yes, here we go. We've got some spear militia on the way to that fort. We'll put, like, I don't know, 2 units there. Just to force the Aragonese to take the long way around. They're going to have to pass by Toulouse, perhaps. Who knows? Alright, we're going to besiege some towns. Next turn, apparently, we can besiege Paris right now. Simon Russell. Holy shit, Simon Russell is actually doing it. He is besieging Paris. And you know what? Next video, we'll assault the walls. Bruges is in a bit of trouble, I believe. Scotland in general is in a bit of trouble. I think they're... Jesus. The king is here, actually. King William. Just King William. He doesn't have a surname, but there we go. King William is valiantly defending Bruges against the oncoming German horde. Hopefully, he can fend them off until we fucking step up to the plate and take him out. I would like Bruges for myself. Alright, but we're gonna get Barty Carr to head out and ride out towards these Genoese. We'll have to recruit, oh shit, did I take, yeah, I took those units, I did not mean to. There we go, we've got a few more units being recruited in Marseille for defense, and then we can get Barty Carr, perhaps, to swing north towards Bern. Perhaps you can even take Genoa itself. I don't know, that seems a bit drastic. We may just get Barty Carr to hold the lines here, or switch out with King Herbert, potentially. Like I said earlier in the video, though, I don't want to overextend too much into Italy and Corsica and Sardinia, Northern Africa, Balearic Isles too much. I would rather just stick to Central Europe for now. But anyway, this video oh shit. The French have plopped down a fortress, sealing in Simon Russell, apparently. A bit too late, I gotta say. Michel d'Artois, a bit too late. But anyway, this video has gone on long enough, so I'm going to end it here. As always, everyone, thank you for watching. I'll see you next video.